Okay, so have you ever, like, really wanted something? Like the latest gadget, you rush to the store all excited and bam, empty shelves, sold out. Or worse, you brave the online checkout, then spend weeks playing detective with your package. Ugh, the worst. We've all been there. It's enough to make you swear off shopping, honestly. But here's the thing, some companies, they're killing it. Like, how do they get it so right? The secret sauce, Lean Six Sigma. Now, before you think, boring business jargon, trust me, this stuff is fascinating, especially if you've ever wondered how some companies just nail it. That's our deep dive today, demystifying Lean Six Sigma. We've got case studies, real-world examples, the whole shebang, showing how this thing that used to be stuck in factories is now changing everything about how we shop. And to guide us through this, we've got our expert who, let's just say, can spot a bottleneck from a mile away.
Maybe not a mile, but I do get a little, thrill, I guess. Seeing how to make things run smoother. That's what's so cool about Lean Six Sigma, you know? It's not just doing more, it's doing more with less. Less wasted stuff, less wasted time, even less wasted, potential.
Music to any efficiency nerd's ears.
Yeah.
Right. But before we get too deep, let's make sure we're on the same page. Quick recap, Lean Six Sigma, what are we even talking about here?
Okay, so imagine Lean as this decluttering guru. Gets rid of anything that doesn't need to be there in a process. Extra inventory, pointless paperwork, that annoying extra trip someone has to make because things are disorganized. Now, take Lean, right? And you team it up with Six Sigma. Dream team. Six Sigma is all about squashing errors, making things as perfect as possible, like those people who always seem to have it together, you know? Organized, efficient, always 10 steps ahead.
Okay, I'm feeling more zen already just thinking about it. But hold on, let's get back to shopping. First up, the make or break for any retailer inventory. Because seriously, nothing's more frustrating than needing something, going to the store, and nope, they're out.
It's such a balancing act, right? Too much inventory and you're drowning in costs, stuff going obsolete. Too little, you're letting down customers, losing sales. No-win situation.
Talk about high stakes. So how does Lean Six Sigma help find that sweet spot?
One biggie is value stream mapping.
Okay.
VSM. Think of it like those detective boards, but instead of a crime, you're tracing a product's entire journey, from factory all the way to the customer.
So instead of mugshots, we've got, like, shipping routes.
Exactly. And by seeing every single step, retailers can find those hidden bottlenecks, the things slowing them down.
Like what? Give me an example. Where did this VSM thing really work?
Take Best Buy. A few years back, they were feeling the heat from, well, Amazon, everyone online. Customers wanted things faster, more choices. Best Buy knew they had to change, so they turned to VSM.
So they, got out their magnifying glasses, started investigating. What'd they find?
Their supply chain was like a game of telephone, you know? All these extra steps, miscommunication, streamlining it, cutting out the whispers. They slashed their lead times by 25%. Huge.
25%. That's insane. But for me, just shopping, what does that even mean?
Instead of waiting weeks for the new game console, maybe you wait a few days, keeping up with what people want when they want it.
And I bet Best Buy saving a ton of money too, right? With that kind of efficiency.
Yeah, millions in inventory costs. Plus, they shrunk their overall inventory by 15%, doing more with less, like we said.
That's Lean Six Sigma in action. But it's more than just speed, right? It's also about having the right things in stock.
Absolutely. And that's where data swoops in. The smart retailers now, they're using data to practically predict the future, knowing what customers want before they even know.
Predicting the future. Sounds a little sci-fi, doesn't it?
Not as crazy as you think. Every click online, every purchase, even just walking by a store sensor that's data, and retailers are getting really good at using it.
Okay, now I'm really curious. Give me an example. Who's using this data superpower well?
Kroger, the grocery store, they're next level. They factor in everything. Sales history, local weather, you name it.
Hold on, weather. So Kroger knows I want soup when it's cold, even before I do.
Pretty much. They've realized those little things. Huge impact on what we buy. Cold snap hits. Bam, extra soup, comfort food, cold meds, you name it.
Okay, that's impressive and slightly creepy. But hey, if it means I can always get my soup. But data aside, isn't there something to be said for just, like, having less stuff? My closet could use some of that minimalism.
You're thinking just-in-time inventory, JIT. Big in manufacturing, but making waves in retail now, too.
Okay, explain it to me, like I'm 5. What's so great about JIT?
Imagine things just appearing on shelves right when people need them. No more giant warehouses full of stuff nobody's buying. No more worrying about things going out of date.
Sounds amazing, but a little too good to be true. Anyone actually doing this?
Nike, big time. They've gone all in on JIT. Shoes, clothes, it all arrives just when demand's highest. Result, 30% lower inventory costs.
30. Dang. That's like turning all that extra inventory into pure profit.
You got it. And it's not just the money, it's freshness.
So instead of a shirt that's been sitting in some warehouse, I'm getting one practically straight from the factory.
Exactly. Like the difference between supermarket produce and going to the farmer's market. Fresher, better, and way better for the customer.
Okay, JIT. I'm sold. So we've done value stream mapping, data voodoo, just in time. That's a lot, but something tells me we've barely scratched the surface of this whole Lean Six Sigma thing, haven't we?
Oh, we're just getting started. Remember those empty shelves? The checkout lines from hell? Symptoms of a much bigger problem. Waste.
And I bet Lean Six Sigma has a plan for that.
You bet. And trust me, once you see waste through the Lean Six Sigma lens, you'll never look at a clearance bin the same way again.
Now that's what I call a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Guess we'll have to wait for next time to wage war on waste.
Remember those 8 wastes? Silent but deadly, hiding in plain sight at even the best retailers.
Okay, time to expose them. Hit me with the rundown.
Let's set the scene. You're in a rush, just need a couple things, but the checkout line, it's like a never-ending snake. That, my friend, is the waste of waiting in action.
Ugh, don't remind me. One time, I swear, I spent longer in line than actually finding my groceries.
Classic example. Wasted minutes here and there, adds up to frustrated shoppers, lost sales, the whole shebang. And speaking of frustration, defects. That chipped mug, the sweater missing a button, the online order that arrives looking like it went through a war zone, all defects.
The worst, packing everything back up, dragging it back to the store.
Right. And for the retailer,
What?
lost money, extra work, could even hurt their reputation. Nobody wins.
So we've got wasted time, faulty products. Who else is on our retail villains list?
Picture this. Mountains of clothes, practically free because nobody bought them. That's overproduction. Too much of a good thing, gone bad.
Like when I go overboard at the grocery store and half my fridge turns into a science experiment.
Exactly. Ties up money, takes up space, and usually ends up discounted or trashed. Waste, waste, waste.
Okay, I'm seeing the pattern here. Waiting, defects, overproduction. Those are the obvious ones. But what about the sneakier ways waste creeps in?
Think about returning something. The paperwork waiting for managers okay. That's extra processing for you.
Ugh, returns are the worst. I once spent so long just trying to return a pair of shoes. Gave up on online shopping for a month after that.
And that's what they do. Extra steps, annoy the customer, bog down employees, nobody's happy. Which brings us to, speaking of employees, non-utilized talent.
You know, that's an interesting one. Wasted talent.
Imagine, right, a store where employees are basically robots. Stock shelves, ring things up, that's it. Huge missed opportunity, those employees. They see what customers need, how to improve stuff. They're a goldmine of ideas.
So instead of just taking orders, they could be like solving problems, innovating.
Exactly. But if you don't listen to them, don't value what they bring, money left on the table, my friend.
Like having a team of geniuses but refusing to let them into the meeting.
Precisely. Now let's move on to a tricky one. Inventory.
Wait, didn't we already cover that?
We did, but here's the thing. Too much inventory. Just as bad as too little.
Okay, yeah. Finding that balance is key.
Right, because stuff that sits there too long loses value, takes up space, ends up on clearance or in the trash. Waste not, want not, as they say.
It's like my closet full of clothes, but nothing to wear.
And speaking of taking up space, there's the waste of motion.
Motion. Like moving around.
Think about it. How much unnecessary walking happens in a store? Employees back and forth to the stockroom, customers hunting for stuff. It all adds up. Wasted time, wasted energy, less efficiency.
Makes sense. So it's about designing the space to cut down on those wasted steps.
Exactly. And finally, something most people forget, transportation.
Like shipping and delivery and all that.
They got it. Every time a product moves factory to warehouse, warehouse to store to you costs money, risks damage, hurts the planet.
Right. So it's about making those journeys as efficient as possible.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that's the beauty of Lean Six Sigma. It gives you the tools to tackle all these wastes, big or small.
Okay, so we've met the enemy. These 8 wastes lurking everywhere. How do we fight back? What's in our Lean Six Sigma arsenal?
Tons of techniques, but 2 big ones. 5S methodology and Kaizen events.
5S. What's the deal with the S words?
Imagine a workspace so clean, organized, it sparks joy.
Okay, now you're just making me want to redecorate. But there's got to be more to it than that.
Oh, way more. It's about everything having its place, and a place for everything.
So no more junk drawers or mysterious cords.
Exactly. The 5S's are sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. Do it right, Transforms chaos into a well-oiled machine.
Sold, but break it down for me. How do these S words actually work in, say, a store?
Let's take a pharmacy. Tons of inventory, prescriptions that are time-sensitive, people in and out all day. Recipe for disaster if things aren't organized.
Tell me about it. Once waited an hour for a prescription, only to find out they'd lost it in the back.
That's what 5S prevents.
Okay, so how?
Sort is like purging. Go through everything. Expired meds, old forms, duplicates. You'd be shocked what piles up.
Like a retail cleanse.
Exactly. Once you've tossed the junk, you set an order, create a logical layout for what's left.
Labeled shelves, color-coded bins, that sort of thing.
You got it. Make it easy for the pharmacist to find what they need when they need it.
I can practically feel my stress melting away. What's next?
Shine. Keeping it clean, organized, not just looks. A clean pharmacy is a safer pharmacy, less chance of mistakes.
Makes sense. And standardize.
That's where you set clear rules. How to store meds, fill prescriptions, even answer the phone, everything.
No more guessing games. Everyone's on the same page.
Exactly. And the customer experience is way better for it.
And finally, sustain. This is where it gets tough, right?
You know it. Implementing 5S is one thing, making it last, that's the challenge.
Like a diet.
Yeah.
Anyone can eat salad for a week, but sticking with it, that's the real test.
Nailed it. Sustaining 5S takes effort, accountability, a culture that values order.
So it's got to be a lifestyle, not a one-time makeover.
100%. But the payoff is huge. Walgreens, right, they did 5S in their pharmacies. Cut their prescription filling time by 20%.
No way. Happier pharmacists, shorter wait times. Everyone wins.
See, Lean Six Sigma isn't about being a robot. It's about making things better for everyone.
Okay, so 5S for everyday efficiency. But what about the bigger problems? The ones that need a whole team effort.
Kaizen events. Think brainstorming on steroids. A team. People from all over get together to tackle one specific problem, make a real change.
Lots of coffee and whiteboards, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely. So, say Costco wants to fix their checkout lines. We've all been there.
Don't get me started.
So they create a Kaizen team. Cashiers, managers, even customers to get every angle.
Love that, getting those different perspectives. Then what?
They spend a few days really digging in, analyzing the process, finding the choke points, brainstorming solutions. Maybe they try different checkout layouts, new scanners, even change how people load their carts.
It's crazy how the little things can make such a difference.
Right. And because Kaizen events are focused and have a deadline, they get results fast.
Give me an example. A successful Kaizen intervention, you could say.
Remember those Costco checkout lines? Kaizen events help them cut wait times by 30%. 30%.
Now that's a brainstorming session I can get behind.
It proves that sometimes the best ideas come from the people doing the work, day in and day out.
So we've got 5S for order, Kaizen events for the big picture. Sounds like Lean Six Sigma has it all figured out.
Hold on. Tools and techniques are great, but the real magic, when it's part of the company's DNA.
Now we're talking. Because let's be real, retail is about people, isn't it?
Absolutely. And these days, with so many choices, that human touch is more important than ever.
Which is why I'm excited for our next segment. We're diving into how Lean Six Sigma can actually create a great customer experience.
It's not just about being efficient. It's about making the experience so good, people keep coming back for more.
Now that's a retail revolution I can get behind. Okay, so we streamlined the supply chain. We're practically predicting the future with data. But at the end of the day, it's all about the customer.
Right. Couldn't agree more.
In a world of endless options, instant gratification, how can retailers create an experience that truly stands out?
That's the million-dollar question. It's not just about a fancy app or free shipping. It's got to be deeper than that.
Okay, how much deeper are we talking?
It's about creating a customer experience that's, transformative, not just transactional.
Okay, I like a good buzzword as much as the next person, but transformative.
Mm-hmm.
In retail, we're talking life-changing socks here.
Think about the brands you love, the ones you always go back to. It's like they just get you.
Right. It's like they know what you want before you do.
Exactly. They're anticipating needs, personalizing recommendations, making you feel like a person, not a number.
Okay, I see what you mean. It's about that relationship, not just the sale.
100%. And data plays a huge role there, but not in a creepy way.
Good. I don't need my shopping cart staging an intervention.
It's more about using data to create those, aha, they get me moments.
Like when a recommendation is so good, it's scary.
Exactly.
Okay, so who's doing this well? Hit me with an example.
Sephora. Their Beauty Insider program, masterclass in personalization.
Okay, full disclosure. I might be a tiny bit of a beauty insider myself.
Well, then you get it. They track what you buy, what you like, even your birthday. Then they use all that to recommend stuff, give you special discounts, send messages that make you feel like a VIP.
I mean, it works. Nothing like a birthday discount on your favorite lipstick. But beyond personalization, isn't it also about consistency? Like no matter how I'm shopping, online, in the store, it should feel the same.
That's omni-channel integration. Big word, simple idea. The customer should have a smooth experience no matter what.
Which is where a lot of companies drop the ball, honestly.
It's tough to get right.
Yeah.
Think about it. You find something amazing online, then you're going to call every store to see if they even have it. Frustrating.
Or when you order online, then the store doesn't do returns, and you're stuck at the post office.
The worst. Now, flip that Nordstrom. They're killing it with omnichannel. Check inventory online, reserve in store, even return online purchases anywhere.
Okay, yeah, that's way better. Like they actually thought about the whole process, made it easy.
That's the point. Omnichannel is about breaking down those walls, making it one seamless, enjoyable experience no matter how you shop.
So we've got personalization, omni-channel.
Mm-hmm.
What else are retailers doing to win in this new world?
Honestly, speed and convenience. Instant gratification is king.
Ain't that the truth?
People want things now, and they'll pay for it.
Hence, same-day delivery, curbside pickup.
Exactly. And those checkout-free stores popping up everywhere.
Don't even get me started. The future is now.
Right. Amazon Go, the OG. Walk in, grab stuff, walk out. No cashier, no lines.
Still blows my mind. But it works. Makes shopping faster, easier, even kind of fun. We've covered so much ground, from warehouses to checkout lines to the customer experience, but none of it matters without the right foundation.
Yeah. You said it. You can have the best tech, the smartest people, but if the culture's not there, Lean Six Sigma won't stick.
Okay, so company culture. What does that even mean in a Lean Six Sigma world?
Imagine a workplace where everyone from the top down is looking for ways to improve. No idea is a bad idea. Everyone's working together.
So it's not just about, like, hitting metrics. There's a human side to it.
Huge. It's got to be about the people working together, always learning, a safe space to try stuff, even fail sometimes and learn from it.
Sounds kind of idealistic, honestly. Any company actually pulling this off?
Oh, yeah. Toyota, for one. The OGs of Lean.
Wait, Toyota? The car company?
The one and only. Their entire culture is built on these principles. It's why they're so reliable, so efficient.
Right. Makes sense for a giant company. But what about smaller ones? Can you create that culture without, like, unlimited resources?
Absolutely. Size doesn't matter as much as commitment. If the leaders believe in it, empower their people, it can work anywhere.
So less about the tools, more about the mindset shift.
100%. It's about seeing problems as opportunities and every single person as valuable.
Wow. We've covered a ton today. Streamlining, data, that magical customer experience. It's clear that Lean Six Sigma is changing how retail works.
No doubt. And I hope our listeners have a better sense of what it really is. Not just a business buzzword, but a way to make things better for everyone.
Absolutely. But before we go, one last thought for our listeners. You've seen what Lean Six Sigma can do, so how can you apply it in your life? Whether it's a company, a project, even just your morning routine, those principles, efficiency, eliminating waste, always improving, those can make a real difference.
It's about asking yourself, how can I make this better? And then actually doing it.
Love it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time for another adventure in the world of business and beyond.